Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about three projects: XDC, XRP, and XLM. And if you hold any of these three, I highly suggest you guys stick around until the end of this video, because I'm going to be going over a ton of information, including my overall plan of action behind these three projects. Now, first and foremost, as we look at XDC, XRP, and XLM, they have not been the prettiest holds of the season so far. When we look at XDC, XDC did have a nice little run up off of the lows from around 2 to 3 cents, all the way up to almost about roughly 8 cents. I know on some exchanges it got close to 10 cents. XLM has been a little bit rough. No all-time highs since 2017, 2018. I know that we got a little bit close to it back in 2021. And the same goes for even XRP. Now the question is, everyone is asking, will XRP and XLM have a new all-time high? Yes, they will. In my opinion, I strongly believe that they will. Outside of that, when we talk about XDC, I believe that XDC is poised for significant growth and adoption, especially within the trade finance space. And I do think that this is extremely overlooked in terms of the potential behind the XDC network and XDC as an actual token on it. Now, outside of that, right? Why are these three so important around this space? Why does a lot of people talk about these projects? Why do a lot of people hold these projects? That's the big question, right? And it all comes down to the fact that we are very early on into crypto. When we look at the overall market cap of crypto, it is sitting under $1.7 trillion. Even at the all-time high of $3 trillion, you could argue that we are actually very early on the macro side of this technology. Now, a lot of people say, I'm not here for the technology. I'm here to make money. And yes, a lot of people are like that. Even myself, right? I also make money in the space outside of XRP, XLM, and XDC by investing and diversifying. But I'm also here for the technology. And the reason why I am is because I believe that over the course of the next 5, 10 plus years, those that are holding utility gems, they're going to be extremely wealthy. Now, do we have to wait 5, 10 years? Absolutely not. But it makes life a lot easier being diversified within the space into gaming and AI and things like that, while XRP, XLM, or even XDC kind of just sit stable or go sideways until they actually start to break out. Now, I see a lot of people flip-flopping around, especially with XRP, because it's down to 50 cents again. And although, if we actually look at this, it's technically an opportunity, but most people are still blinded by the idea that, oh, it's underperforming, it's useless, it's garbage, I'm avoiding it. When we really look at this space, I do think that we need to diversify in order to get through rough times where the price is going down or going sideways. In my opinion, I believe that a lot of people are actually selling specific altcoins, including, of course, XRP, to jump into things that are pumping. And that is not the way to make money in this space, in my opinion. I think that that could easily hurt you in the short term. But in the long term, I do think that if you are making money in this game, taking profits, and flooding it into utility gems that are not moving, then you are going to be very, very wealthy in the future. And the reason why I say that is because, again, we know the backstory behind these three projects heavily because we've researched it. But also technology-wise, right? We are on the cusp of the fourth industrial revolution. This was a term coined by the World Economic Forum going all the way back to January of 2016. Guys, it's been 8 years since we heard about the fourth industrial revolution. A lot of people still think that this is not happening. But if you actually take a step back, think about everything that we have been witnessing. Neuralink, for example, just completed the first trial. They have officially put a chip in a human brain. Think about how crazy that is. Now, beyond that, right, when we scroll down to what the fourth industrial revolution really is, this is the fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. And we can actually see where this revolution could very well take us. When we go back to 1784, you had steam, water, mechanical production equipment. 1870, division of labor, electricity, mass production. 1969, electronics, IT, and automated production. Where is the fourth industrial revolution? cyber physical systems. That's what they're talking about here. So we are already there. We're starting this next big move. Now, where does blockchain and things like that come into play? Well, we have the Internet of Things. We have AI, automated workflows, streamlining data, digitalization. All of this is a part of it. It's clear that the fourth industrial revolution is actually here and it's happening before our eyes, but most people are still blinded by it, right? That they're not actually looking at what they need to be looking at. They are distracted. And there's been various articles written about this. Go back to August 2022. What are Industry 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution, and 4IR? These are those terms. It's the next phase in the digitization of the manufacturing sector, driven by disruptive trends, including the rise of data and connectivity, analytics, human-machine interaction, and improvements in robotics. But it's also advanced new age technology like blockchain. We can actually see all of the things being mentioned down here: connectivity, data, and computational power, cloud technology, the internet, blockchain sensors, analytics and intelligence, advanced analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence. And the list goes on and on and on. As we look at what is going on, we are witnessing a major revolution. And I get it, right? Everyone wants to look into the price action. And price action hasn't really caught up yet. But also remember that we're still heavily dominated by Bitcoin. This market is not utilizing utility as a price driver yet. But even the World Bank back in 2019 wrote about the fourth industrial revolution. And this is going to accelerate many things. Everyday life is going to change through blockchain and DLT. We're already seeing tokenization being talked about heavily. Now, when we look at Ripple, right, they are already adopted by major companies out there to accelerate their business model. This is through blockchain and crypto tech. We can actually see all of the major partners, see the money being saved, things like that. These are very prominent names: Travelex Bank, here's Instagram, you have SBI as well, and there's so many other players. Even over here, here's the customer case studies. Tranglo, again, Travelex Bank, Instagram, you have Modular, Money Match, SCB, the list goes on. And these are just a few of the major players tapped in. And the way that they utilize XRP, because this is their chosen technology, a lot of the players actually from Ripple, like David Schwartz, were architects of the XRP ledger. They are utilizing this as the most practical cryptocurrency for applications across the financial services space. XRP powers innovative technology transforming the global financial services space. And all of this is through actual utility. And guess what? This is all based around the Internet of Value, another term that is tapped in for the fourth industrial revolution. And when we go over to the World Economic Forum, which is one of the largest organizations around this, like I said, they wrote the article back in 2016. Guess who's on their board of partners? Ripple. And when you actually look at this, Ripple is doing for value what the internet did for information, enabling its instant and seamless flow across the world. Ripple calls for the Internet of Value. Using blockchain and cryptocurrency technology, Ripple is dedicated to creating powerful gains in financial efficiency, equity, and inclusion. Now, outside of this, guess who else is on the list of partners? The Stellar Development Foundation. Now, a lot of people think that XLM and XRP are competing against each other. I say it's completely different. When we look at XLM, I fully focus on P2P payments. When we talk about XRP, I'm more so focused on B2B payments. They're two diverse markets within the cross-border payment market. When we go over to Stellar, we have Stellar is where blockchain meets the real world. We can see everything around Stellar. They have been growing rapidly. Honestly, the ecosystem has become a large player already in the space. Stellar has been around for a while, but even when we look down here, right, they do offer very similar things that Ripple with XRP does offer. But the big thing that I look at is who are the players tapped in on Stellar. And when you look at the list, you can see that a lot of them are around the retail sector. So when we question, is Stellar more so for B2B and things like that, or is it more so P2P? I tend to look at the P2P market. But that doesn't mean that it's 100% only going to target the P2P market. I do think that there's going to be some other areas of focus, similar to even Ripple, right? Ripple has been targeting the P2P market as well. I think that they will both be very successful in that space. But MoneyGram is a big one around P2P. And I think that that's also why MoneyGram kind of left Ripple. Obviously, Ripple was in the middle of a lawsuit, but MoneyGram went over to Stellar. And I think that it's because of the P2P focus. And even over here, cross-border payments. Global payments that settle instantly. And you can even see that a lot of this is still focused on the P2P market. Even when we scroll down, you can see that. Now, beyond this, right, there's a lot of other things happening here through tokenization, digitized real world assets. This is tokenization. This is also happening on Stellar. Like I said, Stellar and Ripple, they've been around for a very long time. They have been trusted. They've been tried, right? They are well-known players, right? But beyond that, there's a lot going on both platforms. I mean, Ripple has the CBDC platform. Ripple is focused on tokenization. They're focused on institutional DeFi with the XRP ledger. And Stellar is also focused on a lot of those similar initiatives, and they're both going to eat a piece of the pie. I don't look at these as competitors. This is also why I say I think that everyone should have some XRP and XLM in their portfolio for the long term. But also outside of that, there's a lot more going on here. Their full focus is on global access to digital payments and banking the unbanked. Again, a very, very well-known term that's been thrown out around the space. And that is one that is fully focused on the P2P. But also, bulk humanitarian aid. Again, this is one that really kind of solidified the deal, in my opinion, on where Stellar's focus really is. It's helping those that need aid. It's helping the P2P market. It's helping those in need of funds. Again, this is why I say Stellar is more for P2P. Now, outside of this, XDC. Now, where does XDC stand in this? First and foremost, XDC is not a member of the World Economic Forum, but they don't need to be. The major players that are tapped in with XDC, or at least gave them the recognition that they deserve, is the ICC, the World Trade Organization, and even Citigroup, and the Trade Finance Global. Now, when we look at some of these organizations like the ICC, dominant global force around the trade finance space. The World Trade Organization, dominant force as well. Citi, I don't even think I need to mention Citi. Trade Finance Global is a major organization comprised of major players around the financial or the trade finance space, but they recognize XFIN XDC Network's potential in trade finance. This goes back to April of 2023. The key points here is XDC Network, or XFIN, Singapore COO predicts global blockchain adoption due to the legal acceptance of digital trade documents. The XDC Network team says it's set to bridge the $19 trillion trade finance asset class through tokenization. Previously, TradeTech partnered with XFIN XDC Network to launch the first regulated token, Trada, and they have been doing that. And by the way, for those out there that are waiting on XRP and XLM, just know that trade finance is most likely going to be the first area where we start to see major revolution happening. And the reason why I say that is because the standardization and regulations are already put in place. For an example, the Electronic Trade Documents Bill is a big one, but beyond that, it is a market that hasn't seen any disruption at all. They are still running on paper documentation, which is so outdated, so it's going to be at the forefront of this digital revolution. Also, over here we have XDC plus Trade Finance. This is where you could really see a lot of the moves that XFIN or XDC Network has made. I mean, this is one that I've been talking about heavily on the channel, simply because they are becoming a major player in this space. The trade finance gap continues to grow rapidly. This technology is changing the game. It is becoming a huge focus point from a lot of these global organizations, even the ITFA, for example. XDC Network was invited to actually become the first and at the time of writing the only layer 1 blockchain ecosystem member of the ITFA, which is comprised of global banks, companies, and things like that. And then there's also the DNI initiative and also the TFDI. All of these players have the XDC network on their membership list, and it's for significant opportunity. The reason why is because they want to reduce those costs. They want to boost liquidity. They want to bring new investors into the global trade, and it's all through digital assets and these networks that are unlocking a ton of opportunity. So when we really look at XinFin and the XDC network, this is going to be a big player in the trade finance space, and it's going to be extremely valuable, in my opinion, because of its significance in the trade finance space. But then you also have enterprise adoption as well. Enterprises are looking at these moves being made, and they understand how big of a player some of these DLTs and these networks are becoming. I believe that XDC, XLM, and even XRP are 3 majorly focused players in the enterprise grade sector as well. But there is so much happening around XDC beyond trade finance. Here you actually have a full-on breakdown of some of the solutions. For an example, ISO 20022 API solution. This is, I believe, with Impel actually, because this is instant settlement of digital assets and things like that. You have the cross-chain bridge capabilities, regulated stablecoins, custodial solutions, corporate-to-bank payments and trade finance flows, and then even compliance solutions. When we really look at the XDC network, in recent time, I really do think that this one has shined the brightest in terms of the overall moves that have been made to really kind of push the network forward and innovate. And they've been doing a lot, especially in just the last 2 years alone. Also, TradeFinix, built on the XDC protocol. Guys, this is one to watch for. An institutional grade ISO 20022 compliant non-custodial protocol for trade finance, built on standardization and built-in liquidity of XDC network via FXD. Here you can actually see the overall breakdown of this. This is all through tokenization and securitization of digital assets and things like that. This is going to be, in my opinion, the secret sauce around truly making trade finance digital. But like I said, there's a lot more going on than what most people are looking at. So I really do think that everyone should be looking at these 3. And the best way to do it, the best way that I have found to really kind of invest in these 3. Now, I'm not giving out any financial advice, but the way that I do it is I hold these 3, and the amount that I hold is locked away. I accumulated so much of many other players in the space in terms of projects that I will take profit from those to cover the invested amount on XDC, XLM, and even XRP. That way, I don't actually want to take profit from these 3. I don't need to take profits from these 3 because all of my other investments will be the profit that I need in order to cover these 3 and even make profit on top of it as well. So when XRP does go up or XLM does go up or even XDC does go up, I'm not sitting here waiting for them to go up, and I'm not sitting here watching the chart every single day. I am very patient on these 3 because I see the value behind all 3 of them. I understand how early we are, and I am here for the technology, but I'm also here to make money. And I've talked about many other projects on the channel. I've also given out incredible insights in the free Discord on a lot of undervalued gems. And in the Patreon group, I'm constantly giving out gems as well. But the best way that I do it is I take profits from those diversified assets and I flood them back into XRP, XLM, and even XDC while they are sitting on major support zones or just trading sideways. I have extremely high confidence in these 3 because I've researched so much. I know almost everything about all 3 of these projects, and it's just something that I know long term will be a lot more valuable than what they are at today. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.